Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aquarius in February 2020. What's going on, Aquarius? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, Aquarius, welcome to February. And right off the bat, happy birthday to you guys who are celebrating here in February. Also, happy birthday to those who were celebrating back in January. You know, whenever your day was, I hope it was a magical, special, amazing day full of love and support from those you know and love yourself. Happy Valentine's Day if you were happen to be born on Valentine's Day, or if you're celebrating. If you're not celebrating, it doesn't really matter. I wish the best for you guys on your birthday, on Valentine's Day, and just in general with all your personal endeavors and, you know, the path that you're walking in your life, Aquarius, okay? Valentine's Day, I'm taking it finally in my life as a more adult person, trying to incorporate the aspects of love beyond romantic love and kind of, you know, embody that, or at least, you know, kind of project that positive vibe out towards other people. Whereas, you know, catch me in my teens and my 20s, I was just like, screw Valentine's Day, it's stupid, you know? So I'm trying to like become less jaded. And part of me doing that is wishing everybody a happy Valentine's Day, whether you are celebrating or not, whether you are single or not. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's an amazing time that you have, okay? All right, Aquarius, let's get into it. I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. We're going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome. Wow. And your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Had a card fall out here, so you have the Seven of Swords fall to the floor there. Again, with this focus, for God's sakes. I thought I fixed it earlier. Anyway, secrecy, lies, deceit, typical interpretations of the Seven of Swords could be also, it's not traditionally a spy card, but I do sense this idea of like a watchful eye. Either you have a watchful eye on someone, or someone has a watchful eye on you, or you might have a watchful eye on something like a career or an opportunity, and you're just kind of like waiting for the perfect time to pounce, perhaps, something like that. Anyway, shuffle off camera, blah, 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 blah. We're going to shuffle for your outcome and your overall energy once all the cards are out, yada, yada, yada. The timestamp is in the description box, so if you want to jump ahead, go ahead and click it. It's down there in the description box for you. You can also find the information that you need if you want to get a personal reading with me in the description box. If you have a question before you place an order with me, go ahead and email me at the same address, and I will answer you as soon as I can. Make sure that you, oh my god, another bunch of cards fell out, jeez. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and comment if you like what you see here. Let's see what else came crashing to the floor for you. Eight of Swords. And then the Nine of Swords in reverse. That's very interesting. So, stuck in a situation, but then possibly still kind of, well, stuck in a situation with the Eight of Swords, but then also with the Nine in reverse, perhaps waking, I don't know. I think that's a little confusing to me, because it feels like, you know, on one hand, the Eight of Swords is saying that there's an impediment or something that is impeding a situation, but the Nine of Swords maybe is like finally being free from anxiety. So there is, oh, okay, so maybe there's like nerves before approaching a situation and not knowing how to get out of it, but knowing that you have to get out of a situation. Or in terms of swords, that could be needing to have a discussion. So you've had a lot of buildup. Let's just go ahead and get into the freaking outcome for you guys, okay? Please show me Aquarius's outcome in February 2020. Aquarius's outcome in February 2020, please show me. The deck has been stiff for you guys. What does it all mean, Aquarius? Oh, it's so stiff, this freaking deck. There it is. Bottom of the deck will be the overall energy. And thank you, card, for not falling to the floor. Appreciate it. All right, Aquarius. Let's flip what came face down for you. Okay. All right. And let's see what's going on. I accept that. That doesn't look too bad. All right, let's figure out what's going on. Please show me where Aquarius is in February 2020. Please show me Aquarius in February 2020. Please show me. Okay, got it. All right, Aquarius, coming into February, well, you come in with the King of Cups. Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Could be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. You know, I always ask, you know, where's the specific zodiac sign that I'm reading for? So I'm going to read this as you, but again, it could be someone external to you, and they don't have to be a water sign. But whoever this is a... there is a somber sensitivity here. What does that mean? You might be... I mean, you are an Aquarius, so you know, fixed air, not necessarily the most cute and cuddly of all the signs, but this is probably the closest that you're gonna get right now to being cute and cuddly. And the King of Cups isn't that way anyway. He's a little bit more stoic than that. So you're having a stiff upper lip. You're very stoic right now, even though inside, I feel, Aquarius, your heart is like racing a mile a minute, or 100 miles a minute, excuse me. You're very heartfelt about a situation. You're very possibly nostalgic, or possibly hopeful, but you're not showing that on the outside. You're not expressing on the surface how deep and emotional you feel towards a particular person or situation or circumstance or whatever you're involved in. I'm not exactly sure just yet what we're talking about, but there is like this, what did I say? It was a somber something. I can't remember what I just said, which was like less than a minute ago, but it feels like that. It feels as though, you know, you are very aware of what you feel and what you're thinking and how you want to approach a situation or how you want a situation to unfold for you, but you're not exactly expressive. You know, if you are, okay, thank you. It has to be done in private. Like, you see this guy, like he's like, I'm being like, I've never been in one, but you know, like a wine cellar or like a cigar bar or something like that, which is, you know, and I'm only saying that because there's a masculine figure here. You can, you know, replace this and, you know, make it like a day spa or something like that, where it's kind of secluded. It's just you and the staff, maybe you and someone of particular interest, whether it's a business partner, a romantic partner, whatever it is. And there's like this dynamic between you and another person, or you and a small group of people. This is not an energy that wants to be on display in front of, you know, 1,000 pair of eyes. You know what I mean? This is an energy that says, I do want to be truthful or vulnerable or open and expressive, but not with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, not with every Sandra, Tanya, and Shirley. You know what I mean? It's like a wealth of emotion is here, you know, because the King of Cups, same as the Queen of Cups, is the master of their own suit. So there is a very astute, very aware. There's like such an awareness of what this person's emotional state is, your emotional state, Aquarius, or someone else. You know, it could go vice versa. It is a general, okay? But whoever this is, they're very aware. They're just not saying much. They do not say much in terms of what they're feeling, even though they might want to, even though I think really it's about timing and environment. And it's just like, there's so much to say here, and I don't know where to begin. Like, it's kind of like the energy. I don't know where to start. I don't know how I should broach this subject. I don't know what I should offer, or should I ask them to meet me here, or should I ask them to meet me there? Should we just have, you know, a discussion over the telephone? Whatever. There's like, that is where your air quality is coming in, Aquarius. You know, again, fixed air quality, where you're in your mind, you're like possibly overthinking a situation or overanalyzing a situation. And that conflicts a little bit, well, a considerable amount with the King of Cups, because the King of Cups acts from a heart space, right? Even though traditionally it is a stoic energy, it's a stoic character, it's very reserved, it will always be heartfelt. It will always be heart forward, right? And often that includes or just automatically it like automatically indicates or includes some level of vulnerability. I think you, Aquarius, you're overthinking this too much and ignoring, or part of overthinking what you're feeling avoids, thank you, it helps avoid the vulnerability. There's something here about the King of Cups naturally would be vulnerable when the timing was right, and you're kind of banking on that. You're kind of like cornering that element of this energy and saying, oh yeah, I can only be vulnerable when the time is right. And it's kind of like, it's almost like a cop out, or it's almost like not a cop out, a loophole. Because Aquarius, you're not the biggest fan of vulnerability. You can do it, but you would prefer not to be. So if you can avoid it by staying in your head and overthinking a situation, or trying to analyze the best time, the best proposal, I want to you just want it to be, when you step forward and say something, or when someone steps forward and says something to you, whoever this King of Cups is, they want it to be done right, as to not make a fool of themselves. So there's a little bit of anxiety or apprehension here. But yeah, that's very interesting. So what happens, because that can run the gamut. I don't really know exactly what we're talking about. They keep showing me like a wine cellar, like a cigar bar. I mean, it's pretty on the nose because he does have a glass of wine and a cigar in his hand, right? But like, what do you call it? What were those things called back in the day? Like a smoking club or something? I don't know. But I'm really seeing like an intimate gathering of two or more people. And it's for the purpose of not being in the public eye, or not being criticized, or not having, like, everybody stay out of my business is kind of what this is feeling like. Like, nobody, I don't want, this is between you and me, this is between you, me, and this other person. Like, we're cracking a huge business deal, we're doing heavy negotiations, whatever it is. It's like, whatever is meant to be expressed or transpired or exchanged between this group of people, it's not meant for other people's eyes. It's really exclusive or confidential. There you go. That's the word I've been, pecking around. It's exclusive. It's confidential. I don't want to say it's a secret. In some of your cases, maybe it is a secret. But it's for the purpose of, if I'm going to be vulnerable, I don't need everybody to see me be vulnerable. If I had to make this announcement or offer this bargain or whatever it is in front of like a crowd, I wouldn't do it. There is something here about someone doesn't want to be embarrassed. Somebody doesn't want to have their ego bruised, have their pride, fall to the floor and like stepped on, you know what I mean? So there's something here about that. So what happens? What else is going on? Please show me. Opportunities abound. Opportunities abound. Wow. But it's not without problems. Is that right? Okay. Wow, okay. So I feel like this King of Cups is caught between something, actually. And maybe that is also aiding in this over-analyzing of the situation, because he's caught between two avenues, right? Is that correct? Yes, thank you. So First Avenue is... First Avenue, I don't know, maybe there's something in there for somebody who might live on First Avenue or have something to do with the First Avenue somewhere in the world. Anyway, Ace of Pentacles. This is the First Avenue, the first choice or the first option or approach that the King of Cups could take or might be presented. It could go either way. This King of Cups could be presenting these opportunities, or be sort of the purveyor or the creator of these opportunities and the aces that we're going to talk about, or they could be coming towards him. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is super practical, right? Aces are, again, opportunities, chances. They're not guarantees, right? You have to be in the right place at the right time. You have to work with the right people. Like, the stars have to align, essentially, to make this thing come to fruition. In terms of Pentacles, we could be talking about investments and other dealings with money and finances. Could be talking about career advancement or career changes. What I'm feeling more is like, it's like this offer of like a new path or a new way of securing or establishing, thank you, of establishing something strong, of establishing stability. There's a new way, a new approach, thank you, a new approach to something that's practical or relates to stability and or career and finances, okay? Again, a new career itself, or, you know, a new position opens up, but, you know, you're being headhunted, but you're working at another corporation, and so it's kind of like a faux pas to publicly, you know, discuss, you know what I mean? It's like one of those like weird, you know, again, like cloakroom. That was the word I wanted, cloakroom. It's like I'm seeing like an old cloakroom with like a bunch of old dudes who like are reading the Wall Street Journal, and they're smoking their cigars, and all that, you know, they're drinking, you know, old fashions and everything like that. Like, that's the mood it is. It's very exclusive. It's very hush hush. And I feel that this Ace of Pentacles is a part of that. So some of you are having, you know, sort of not like dealings within like a cloakroom, like Wall Street type stuff, like high business, like high level, you know, high stakes, large contracts, large amounts of money. Like, some of you are negotiating these things, okay? And you might be nervous because of, you know, the impact it might have. You might be nervous because, you know, if things get out ahead of time, it's bad for business, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And that's interesting because I feel for those where that's hitting, you're like excited at the prospect of like what can come out of it. But you're like, you're very scared at what you can lose in the process if you were to be found out, or if things just kind of go sideways for whatever reason, okay? That's for a small group of Aquariuses, or a very, you know, very specific group of Aquariuses. I'm also getting, like, in a romantic sense, or in a dating sense, or something about affinity. I'll say affinity. It might not be strictly romantic, but there's something here about tender feelings that you have, Aquarius, or that someone has towards you, or you know, the same. You both mutually might feel the same way. And being unsure of what this means. Okay, there we go, come on. In terms of like, in terms of like dating, this is like, someone is very emotionally mature, maybe not so expressive, but definitely well-versed in it. They are someone who has lived a life, and, you know, they're not emotionally, they know it, they have experienced a lot, but they just don't express that they've experienced a lot. They kind of don't want to dwell on the past, so to speak. And so this person is kind of reserved. And then this offer that they either want to make towards someone else, or that is coming towards them, is very generous. It's a generous offer. I mean, this is like a huge pentacle, right? In this mechanical hand, right? It's a huge offer, or the potential of something. But this King of Cups perhaps is a little jaded, like I said, wanting to avoid vulnerability, not necessarily wanting to get themselves involved in anything where they have to show that, you know, soft underbelly, roll over, let me pet your belly as if you were a dog or a cat. That involves an incredible amount of trust. Like, when animals do that, it means that they trust you, right? So there's something here about maybe the King of Cups isn't so trusting at this moment. You, Aquarius, the other person, whoever it is, right? But the offer is so tempting. It's so tempting in all scenarios. This Ace of Pentacles is very tempting, because the Ace of Pentacles, I feel, among all the aces, is the surest bet. Meaning, it relates to things that are related to Pentacles energy, Earth energy, right? Things that are tangible, things that we can, you know, interact with our five senses, things that have value and purpose here in our 3D lives. You know, when you get into the cups, a little more emotional based. When you get into wands and swords, it's more, you know, it's less, again, it's less physical. It's more abstract. You know, Pentacles, again, can deal with money or things that we value in this world. So if you're signing contracts that are guaranteeing you a certain amount of money made on the back end, that's a sure bet. If you sign your name to the contract, you're going to get what, a 50K bonus or something like that. That is a sure thing. You can count on that. Offers like the Ace of Cups, again, wands or swords or any of those other three, it's less tangible. So this offer is pretty solid in either category, whether we're talking business, love and romance, or dating, or the other part, to go back before I move on, that I was feeling is this is like a friendly thing. Again, I used the word affinity before, and I still mean it. I feel as though there might be a strong affinity between friends, and possibly one of the friends has deeper feelings than the other, or you both have mutually deep feelings, but you haven't expressed it to one another, and you're in like that weird, like, we're friends, but I think we're more than friends, but I'm not going to say it first, and they're not going to say it first, and now we're just in like this stalemate of, well, have a good night, and like you go to hug, and there's like a little kiss on the cheek, and it's like really weird and awkward and all this other kind of stuff, right? So it's like that. In all areas, there's a practical offer on the table. The contract stuff is really simple to me. The affinity, dating, whatever the hell friend thing is happening here. What is it? How? It's gifts. It's like gifts. Thank you. They're like, duh. It's like gifts. So doing favors for your friend, like, you know, oh man, I really need a ride to the airport on Saturday. No, like, oh, it's going to be so expensive. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Uber, oh my God, it's going to take forever. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't want to do the Uber pool. I just want to go direct, but it's going to be like $30. And your friend is like, I'll take you. And you're like, really? Yeah, I'll take you. Like, you know, there's like little things that this person does for you, Aquarius, or that you do for them, or you both do towards each other. And it's just like, this is what boyfriends and girlfriends do, or significant others do, but you're doing it in the capacity of friendship. And that is confusing, or that is, it's hard to know what to do with it because there's no defining what's going on. Remember, cloakroom, in private. If you guys are friends in a larger group of friends and you hang out, it's kind of like, if we are something, we would have no way of discovering it because we most of the time are hanging out in a bigger group and eyes are on us. So I don't want to flirt with you, or they don't want to flirt with you, or whatever it is, because other people will be able to tell. So it's like that. But the Ace of Pentacles are like those small gifts and small favors that this person is offering to you, that you are offering to someone else, and it indicates what can develop or what can grow, because aces are always seeds. They're just like, you plant it in the ground and hopefully it grows through through time and your effort, right? You put any seed in the ground, you do have to water it, you do have to, you know, maintain anything that grows from the dirt, right? So the same thing here. You sign a contract. Okay, well, we got to make sure that it gets notarized. We got to make sure that it's properly filed. And if you're waiting for that 50K bonus, you know, maybe there's a stipulation. After 3 months, Aquarius will receive the 50K. So that's the seed you plant here in February. Come May, if it sprouts out and it says 50K all over it and it's got your name on it, boom, that's it. Same thing here with the affinity and the potential friendship or dating or situationship. That's the word the kids use on the street, situationship. The situationship is the same thing. I'm planting these seeds. You are Aquarius, or they are with you, or both of you are doing it with each other. It really doesn't matter. That down the line will prove whether or not that relationship is fruitful, or whether or not it could be fruitful. Does that make sense? So that's the practical offer. The other avenue, as I said before, that the King of Cups is facing or offering out, or whatever it is, again, it's a general, it's either coming towards you or you're giving it out, Aquarius, is the Ace of Cups. So this is like the expression. Oh, okay. So remember I told you this person, this energy, this King of Cups is struggling with or avoiding expressing their emotional state, what they feel about a situation. They'd rather analyze it to death or filter their emotions through their brain, through their mental capacity, right? And kind of intellectualize their heart is essentially what this feels like. This is the option to stop doing that. This is the chance to stop doing that. with the Ace of Cups. So this could be a heart-to-heart conversation between you and someone else. This could be, in terms of business, I'm not really sure how this would play. So I'm just going to go with the situationship first, because that's a little easier. It's coming through a lot. Yeah, it's coming through a lot easier. This is the potential for you and whoever's in this situationship with you, for you both to come to terms, whatever. Meet face to face, again, probably in private, and discuss like what's happening between you. There is a chance that's, ooh, I'm about to say something, and I think Aquarius is like not going to be here for it. There's a chance that someone is in love. And I think it's kind of like endearing, but then also shocking. It's like what you want to hear, but then it's also like, oh shit, now it's real. You know what I mean? Like if you or someone else is wanting to express, you know, I think I love you, or I think I am beginning to fall in love with you, something like that. It's like, yay, but then it's like, oh my God, that means, oh my God, this is serious. You see what I mean? Like it makes it serious. There you go. Isn't the point of a situationship that it's not serious or like it's undefined? The moment someone, you know, says those three little words or something in the ballpark of the three little words, it then becomes less, or it then becomes so serious, right? So there's something here about the gravity of, or the heft, the weight of this Ace of Cups is very large. It's like the elephant in the room, right? Where, oh wow, that's crazy. It's like you look at this person, you're like, you have these intense feelings, or they look at you and they have these intense feelings. And it's like, it's all they can do but stay conscious and stay, you know, out of the realm of discussing what they feel. Again, they feel a lot with the King of Cups, but don't express it. This Ace of Cups, I don't know in how. Time, the timing, the place. Timing, the place, they say. Timing, the place. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of the place. And this could happen. You know, again, aces are only possibilities and opportunities. They are simply chances. They are not things that you have to do, and they're not things that are guaranteed to happen. You know, the stars, again, kind of have to align, right? So in terms of business, how could that work as well? Oh, okay. This could be an opportunity to kind of, because in the business thing, it really feels as though there's a major deal on the table, Aquarius, that you're a part of, like, you know, creating. You might be the author of the contract or whatever is being signed or negotiated, right? And there is this chance that, I don't know what this is. You know, this part is actually a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who you would express it to, because if you say it to the people that you're negotiating with, you might shoot yourself in the foot. So that would kind of defeat your purpose. But I feel as though there's a bigger message or mission. Thank you. A bigger mission behind you wanting this deal or what you're getting out of this deal. And it's very close to your heart, Aquarius. Again, this is specific to those that are dealing with business and career and finance, okay? Solidifying the deal, getting the contract signed, you know, going to the final steps in a project, whatever it is. You have an emotional attachment to it that if you express it, certain people might turn away, or what is that? You might have to like leave certain relationships behind, business relationships or certain opportunities. I did say that. Okay, thank you. Okay, I see. In terms of business, I mentioned this before, and this is kind of really what they're giving me, and hopefully if it's not your specific situation, you can still kind of pull something out and piece it into your story if it fits a little bit. But what I said earlier was something about being headhunted, right? So you work for one company already, and now you're making moves and you're negotiating the terms of your contract or the terms of your employment with, the next company. And along the way in the transition period, again, time and place, that kind of plays for this group as well. Somewhere in there, you have the opportunity. Okay, there we go. If you are leaving a job where you had great rapport with your boss, and you were very tight knit with your mentors and managers and the people that worked for you and all this, if you had good relations, it is a chance for you to salvage those before you leave. Because when you leave, based on how it's done or the timing, or who you're going to go work for, it might feel like a betrayal or a slap in the face to the people that you currently work with. So this Ace of Cups, Aquarius, I'm sorry, I don't know why I put a C in there. Anyway, Aquarius, this Ace of Cups is an opportunity for you to clear the air before you leave. Let them know, listen, this is not personal. I know I'm kind of leaving you guys in the lurch here. I know, you're going to be short-staffed or whatever it is, but, this was a golden opportunity for me. I had to take it. It's nothing personal. It strictly is business, and I appreciate, there's a chance for you to kind of divulge and quote-unquote confess all of this stuff. Similar to what the love or affinity portion was, where we are teetering on this idea of confession with the Ace of Cups. That is what it was. It took me a while to get that. Okay, there it is. My friends, listen, I'm telling you, when I do these readings, I'm just looking up into the corner. I'm looking at my plant sometimes. Sometimes I'm staring into my salt lamp over there. And I'm just talking. And then I look down here and I see exactly what I was mentioning. Pardon me. So, Aquarius. Somewhere in here, there's a chance that people will feel or have felt some type of betrayal, some type of left behind. Thank you, left behind. 10 of Swords. Okay, here we go. Ooh, that feel. Oh, I felt that. Okay, so business, since I was just talking about it, is going to come a little quicker, I think. So in terms of business, again, if you were working for a company for a long time, or you have a great working relationship with your bosses and your managers, maybe they're family or maybe they're friends, something like that. It feels very close. It feels very personal. Maybe some of you started a business and now you're leaving it. You know what I mean? You're selling your portion of the business to an outsider, something like that. Again, I don't begrudge you making the move. I think with the two aces, it's very beneficial for you as an individual, Aquarius, or whoever this pertains to. But others around you are not so pleased. They're going to feel abandoned. They're going to feel betrayed. They're going to feel as if you stabbed them in the back and left them for dead. I don't know that it can be helped. I mean, you can try to mediate it or mitigate it rather, by, telling them before like the paperwork is filed or finalized, or, it's going to be like notarized in the morning and like filed down in the county clerk's office or whatever it is. So before you get this news, I just wanted to tell you, Terry, I sold my half of the business. And then Terry can, get on and begin feeling like this. But ultimately, if you tell them first, there might be a little bit less of an insult here. Other than that, or excuse me, not other than that, but another way that we can interpret this Ten of Swords in terms of business, Aquarius, is that, some of you are leaving a job that has left you this way. As much as you might love it, or as much as you might be very comfortable with the people that you work with, and you have a good rapport and all of that, you might be overworked. You might be incredibly stressed or burned out in some type of way. And the job that you're moving into, a different industry, a totally different employer, whatever it is. Some of you might be retiring, and you're retiring earlier than other people may have expected. It could be because you've had enough. When we get to the Ten of Swords, no matter what we're talking about, that's enough. We have tapped the keg, essentially. We have tapped, we've reached the end of the line, right? So some of you are just really exhausted with the work that you're doing now and you want something less exhausting, or you might be going back to school. If it's not a transition from one job to another, you might be returning to complete your education. And it's a bittersweet feeling, you know, because the thing that we can sometimes note about the Ten of Swords is not only is there the figure that's been stabbed in the back and left for dead, there's also a sunrise usually in the Ten of Swords in the distance. So it's the breaking of a new day, right? It's the dawn of a new day, a new chance at something, a new start. Yeah. So that is definitely at play with the business side in terms of the affinity, situationship, whatever the hell it is. There might be some, like, I don't know why. Oh, because, you know, some friends, they get jealous. That's why they're like jealousy. Or you know, they're just like, you know, petty jealousy that friends can sometimes have. I don't care how old you are, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, only young people would experience this, but like in a group of friends, when two friends, okay, let's say it was a trio. Let's say, just as an example, let's say it was a trio of single people, you know, regardless of gender or orientation or whatever. But out of the trio, two begin to hook up and two begin to start dating. That leaves one person solo, and that person could feel betrayed and stabbed in the back and left out, right? Again, it could be petty, it could be jealousy. I don't want to say that is exactly what's going on. In some of your cases it will be, but in other cases it's just a matter of, you know, a person is just like, oh, you guys are dating now? Well, geez, who am I going to go see, you know, all the Marvel movies with now? Thanks, guys. You know, like they're bitter or something like that. But it's passive, or not passive. It's like it's minimal, right? So outside of people just like judging the connection, I feel as though there's a fear here, or a concern. Thank you, not a fear, a concern that this situationship could lead to this, or put it down. Thank you. Okay. Historically, Aquarius, if you're the King of Cups, you might have trepidation and worry about getting into something because of this, because you've had this before. Maybe even recently. Oh gosh, if you've recently broke up or you've recently experienced this in another relationship, you know, I would caution you to take your time. But if it's not like super recent, you're still attached to this energy in some type of way, or you're not fully over this. This could have been a bad breakup. This could have been a betrayal. This could have been all kinds of things. It could have been, you know, a domestic situation, could have been a volatile situation in your past, or just general, you know, run-of-the-mill standard issue heartbreak and disappointment. Yeah. And whoever is the King of Cups, I feel that they're very aware that either that feeling is still with them, or all of their relationships have ended that way, or most of them have ended that way. And so they're just like, well, why would I go and get into another relationship when this is how it always ends for me? So there's this, again, this overanalyzing, this mental side that, again, I think belongs to you, Aquarius. But again, it's a general, can be flipped, okay? Please don't, you know, get stuck in one lane here, okay? But there is this idea of applying a lot of logic to what is potentially a very heartfelt and heart-forward situation, right? Talking, you know, budding romances or whatever it is that you're doing, to apply too much air energy, too much mental energy, it kind of makes it like sort of medical, you know? Like surgical, like, you know, this, like formulaic, that's the word I want, formulaic. This plus this equals this. You know, this plus this equals heartache. Therefore, I don't want to do that. And it's like you psych yourself out, or you convince yourself. Again, you're intellectualizing what you're feeling. Okay? I still feel it's gonna maybe it's not going to happen, but I feel there's still a chance that it will happen. But this would need to be discussed, or this would need to be owned up to. I'm afraid that this will lead to heartache. You might need to say that, they might need to say that to you, whatever it is. And I think the quote-unquote confession element is still kind of here. Maybe you don't know this about your friend or whoever you're involved with. You might not know, like, they've had crappy relationship after crappy relationship. Or you might not know that they're a little jaded or scarred because of some traumatic history involving intimate partnerships, whatever. So there might be some details that you're missing. Regardless, this is very important in either situation, Aquarius, to be addressed or acknowledged. If not addressed, at least acknowledged. If you have to just hear someone tell you that they think you're being kind of a dick because you're, leaving the business, or you sold your part of the business and you didn't tell anybody, and they just want to get it off their chest, you might just have to be the receiver of that energy and then, transmute it in a positive or effective way, and hopefully not engage in an argument. I'm not feeling an argument here, but just to safeguard, or not safeguard, but just to put it out there, some of you might be in partnership or business with people who might be very, very vocal and very, very upset, and they want to express to you how upset they are, okay? Now, some of you are like, oh no, that means this. Maybe. So what happens is, I think that these are very connected and these are very connected. Yes, thank you. And I haven't had a triangle in a long time, so thank you, Aquarius, for giving me a triangle. So you've got the King of Cups connected to the Ten of Swords, which is also connected to the Moon, which is where we're going next. So the Moon, Major Arcana 4, Pisces. Some of you could be dealing with a Pisces, but you don't have to be. So here's that deep emotion that the King of Cups is very well aware of and very much attached to, and is pretty much the owner of. Now, the interesting part of it, Aquarius, is that this Moon card traditionally incorporates not only deep emotions, but also issues or aspects of fantasy and illusion and delusion. Maybe some issues with, like, not substance abuse, but certainly escapism through substances. So that could be what is happening for the King of Cups. Like I said, I did see a cloakroom and like a wine cellar. So, you're making heavy multi-million-dollar deals, over, brandy on the rocks, like give me 3 brandy on the rocks, and you're like that really like old school way of like doing business, which I'm sure still exists, like very Wall Street, like the movie with Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas, all these greasy deals that are being, and I'm not trying to call you greasy or say that, I'm not trying to attack your character, but like that's what it's getting, like the weight of it. And often those deals, especially in movies in the 80s, they were doing some high stakes business, and they were like coked up and drunk. They were high as hell, and they were hedonistic in a lot of ways. Now, I'm not saying that you are specifically doing that, Aquarius. I'm not saying that, but the Moon card does touch on hedonism just a little bit, okay? So that is here. Yeah. So some of you are kind of swimming. Yes, thank you. Swimming in this, like, the potential of what is going to happen. Like, you're breaking ground on a totally new venture in your life in terms of career and finance or whatever it is. And like, you're getting high. There you go. You're getting high off of like knowing, oh my God, I'm signing this deal, and in 3 months I get 50K, and after 9 months it's going to be 150. And then by the end of the year, my bonus is going to be 250K. Like, yes. You're like getting high off of the idea of all the benefits that are going to come to you. And you're, again, in a fantasy of what will happen when the first check comes, when the first deposit comes, and then the second deposit. And then by then, I'm also going to be making connections over here and doing all these other kinds of deals. And then I'm going to be flying, private jets over here and da-da-da-da-da. And you're just like, you're very turned on. Because that's another part of the Moon, is certain elements of sensuality. And a little, yeah. So some of you are like, that is there too. Like you're thinking of all the things, because I mean, listen, this world, a lot of power and access belongs to those who have money and expendable income, right? So if you've got some deep fantasies that you want to, I've always wanted to take a trip to Thailand. It's like that money that's coming to you is going to get you to Thailand so that you can please be legal with whatever you're doing. But you see what I mean? So there's like this, I'm so high off of the fantasy of what is coming down the line for me. I already know, I'm just not expressing it over here. I'm being very quiet about it. I'm making my exit move. You know, people are, you know, not too happy about me, but I'm securing my future for myself. And then the moon, as you can see in the card, the actual moon up in the sky has 2 spotlights on it, right? 2 floodlights on it. So there is this reveal, which is very unusual for the moon card, but in this deck, I'm often drawn to those 2 spotlights hitting the moon. There is a spotlight directly shown on the moon, meaning what is shadowy gets some type of recognition or becomes known to you or other people. So, I mean, I'm pleased, whatever you're doing, whoever, I don't know who this is, and I don't hate on anybody. If it's legal and it's consensual, go to town. But for God's sakes, somebody here is like, they're about to like live out one of their biggest sexual fantasies because they are coming into either the access, the culture, the social circle that will allow them to do that. That's very interesting. And that's like, again, I'm attaching it to this idea of like big business deals. Like I'm again, like I'm in the 80s. And if you know anything about the 80s Wall Street time, that was like the peak of debauchery, right? Not saying you are this person, you exactly work in this field, but it's that similar energy of, because I'm making such a profit, because I am flush with cash, because I'm surrounded by people who live this lifestyle or who are interested in this lifestyle too, I'm going to go to town. I'm going to go wild and be a hog about it. As long as it's legal and consensual, you have my support. Please don't break the law. Please don't break anybody else's consent. Okay? So that's a big part of the moon for the business side. What else is happening in the moon for the business side? Oh, is that, you know, listen, I don't want to hook it all on this like sexual thing, because I think it's more than that. There are other ways to escape. Like I said, you could, you know, go the Scarface route and get like a whole pile of cocaine. Again, don't do this. This is illegal. Do not do it. I do not advocate it. But that could be also what some of you are thinking. I have never had this much money. So instead of drugs, let's say it was like you've always wanted to buy like an expensive sports car, or you've always wanted to live in a McMansion or whatever it is. The access that money is going to allow you to buy what you want, to travel where you want, and it could be, you know, above board. Maybe you want to go like on a fucking Disney cruise. Those things are hella expensive. See, I never say hella, but there you go. Somebody likes that word out here. Hella expensive, right? So maybe you love Disney to death and you just want to go on a Disney cruise. Those things are expensive. The job that you're now getting, or the bonus that you're now getting, you're going to take yourself on that cruise. You're going to take your family on that cruise. That's allowing you to fulfill a fantasy. That's what I'm being led to tell you here with the business side. Also, the same with the love and situationship. Despite what happens here, the fallout you have with mutual friends, the confession of fears, or the confession of, you know, being jaded and having a fear of reliving the heartbreak over and over again. You know, people always dump me, or I'm always the heartbreaker and I'm afraid to hurt you, whatever the situation is. We get past that part. And now we get to this like, again, there's like this like sensual energy here, which is very, again, it's very on board with what the moon is. There's like this there's like a confession of like you tell me you're it's like, you tell me a story from like your past, like one of your crazy sex stories, and I'll tell you one of mine. Okay, cool. Like now it's like you're feeling each other out. Maybe you're also filling each other up. And there's like this mutual, because there's 2 spotlights, right? There's like this mutual exchange of the fantasy of something. And there is a chance on both sides, the business side, the affinity situationship side, there is a chance of overindulgence. Be careful, Aquarius. The moon is an indulgent energy. I've used the word fantasy. I was hoping that contextually you could see that doing too much of your fantasy could be a bad thing. That is potential here. Yes, with the tower right above it, they're like, look at it. The tower right above it, there's a chance to overindulge, and that is the caution. Do not overindulge. I'm not throwing complete caution here. if you're smart, you avoid the Scarface pile of cocaine on your desk. You don't act like, what's that guy's name, Gecko or whatever, in Wall Street, right? You don't go too far. Don't break any laws. You'll be good. But there's a chance to go all the way. Don't pull yourself back. Now, the Tower, here it is. This is what I was just cautioning you about, right? Oh, come on now. Tower card, secondary major arcana for Aries. Some of you could be dealing with an Aries, but you don't have to be. The caution remains, but there's another side of the Tower that we're going to talk about. So again, don't overindulge. You know, take it for what it's worth. You know, do like a how long do cruises last? Like a week and a half, or something like that. Like take like the 4-day Disney cruise. Like don't take like the 8-day, something like that. You know, if you're gonna go to Thailand, make it a week, not 2 weeks, whatever it is. If you're gonna exchange these sexual fantasies, like, I mean, do it, but like, I don't know, just like don't go too far. So that's the caution again. But the other aspect of the Tower is showing, but it's showing me, but I'm going to translate what it's showing to me, is that nothing is the same after this time. The exposure of the deep feelings and the secrets. Okay, thank you. Moon also talks about secrets. So again, like those fantasies, those deep fantasies or dreams that you've always had that you've never shared with anybody. Maybe you're a big, like, burly, tough guy, or a very stoic, strong woman, and nobody knows that you love the hell out of Disney. That revelation, like something, I'm using something very small to show you that the Tower does not have to be a huge, impactful moment. It doesn't have to be as destructive as the artwork often depicts. But what it is feeling like is, once we talk about the deep emotions or the secrets that are in the moon, the fantasy, the things that have been held back, thank you, the things that have been held back, undercover, under wraps, under the guise of night. Again, you take those spotlights off of the moon, it's going to be kind of dark out there. So the spotlights shine on this moon card to expose something that wasn't exposed before. That creates a Tower moment. Tower moments shift the foundation, or more than shift, they crumble the current foundation and make way for a new foundation to be laid, right? So that's what's going on here. You leave the job, you're laying a new foundation. You get your bonus, you know, you used to rent your condo, now you're going to buy your condo. You know what I mean? It's like that. I'm not saying you're all going to have quote-unquote positive Tower moments, or all the things that are befalling Aquarius are going to be positive. There will be setbacks, there will be trials and tribulations. That is definitely apparent. But the purpose of the Tower in Congress, interesting, in Congress, what is this, a damn English paper? In Congress, or together, thank you, with the moon card, the Tower with the moon card, to me, is showing a very deep, almost isn't that like what, like certain oil drilling does, or like fracking or something, where they go deep into the terrain to dig out natural gas or to get to oil, right? So the riches, oil, natural gas, are deep in the subterranean levels, right? Now, environmental impact aside, that's what's going on here. This Tower cracks deep into the subterranean levels of what you're feeling, what you want to express, what you want to experience, what you want to indulge in, whatever it is. It then allows sort of like this new, like I said, this new foundation to form, this new way of living or performing or going to work. Again, some of you, the previous job you have, it worked you like a dog. Now you're going to a job where you're paid more money and you are less stressed. That's a new way of living. Right? Again, going from friendship to, I guess we're kind of in a relationship, or I guess we're kind of friends with benefits now, or whatever you're upgrading to or up-leveling to, whatever it is. So the Tower, scary on, you know, on the visual, but ultimately, aside from the caution of overindulgence, don't do it, I feel the Tower is actually very beneficial. And again, I told you there was the triangle, right? with these three, the King of Cups, Ten of Swords, and the Moon, right? Triangle also exists between the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Tower. These two offers, or these two ways of approaching a situation or giving, taking up an opportunity, creates a Tower, or is somehow in partnership, in tandem with the aces. Yeah. So Aquarius, it looks pretty good, and I'm late in the game, reminded to tell you that I feel that your birthday message was very good too. I don't know, I can't remember what it was. Like, that was like, what, a month ago? Or no, it wasn't a month ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. But whatever. I really can't remember what I said. But they're letting me know that there was a positive message for you recently. And I'm going to guess that was either for one of your January readings or your birthday message. Take a look if you choose to. Now, your outcome, Aquarius, is the Eight of Wands. So, communication, talking, clearing the air in some cases. But more to the point, I think that this is taking action. This is being very direct. I mean, look at the efficiency with which these wands have been launched, right? They've been launched out of a launcher or some kind of mechanical thing there. And there is, I'm assuming, there's some targeting involved here, meaning we're not moving towards something haphazardly. We're not having discussions without having a goal in mind. We're not signing documents without knowing the outcome or what to expect on the back end, right? If I sign this contract with you, if you take me on as a consultant, here are the things that I'm expecting to receive in exchange for my services, right? There's no not wiggle room. There's no confusion, right? This is a very clear-minded, clear intent energy with the Eight of Wands. And there is like I said, there's a target involved. What do you want? I want more money. Okay, cool. What else do you want? I want to be able to spend more time with my family. What else would you like? I'd like to be able to go on a Disney vacation. Cool, we got you. Here's the company, express card or whatever it is, and you're just like, absolutely. And then because it is about communication, traditionally Eight of Wands, this is about, volleying the conversation back and forth between you and, your new boss, or you and your friend who might be becoming a lover, or whatever it is. There's just like this open exchange of energy and intention and communication. And it's targeted from both directions. You're not going to pull the wool over your employer's eyes, or you're not going to, if you want more than just friendship with your friend, you're not going to be able to get that if you don't say it outright. I want to be more than friends with you, Bobby, or I want to be more than friends with you, Jill, or I want to be more than friends with you, Rodrigo, whatever. It's not, there's no smoke and mirrors here. There's no guesswork. There you go. There's no guesswork. That's pretty simple. Anything else? Eight of Wands can also talk about travel. So if you are really going on a Disney cruise, say hi to Donald Duck. He's my favorite. I love him. Snap a photo. Send it to me. I love Donald. He's my man. Now, the overall energy for you, Aquarius, is the... Oh, come on, damn you. Is the Knight of Wands. There you go. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Some of you could be dealing with a fire sign, but you don't have to be. So here we go. Here's the intention. Or not the intention, but here's sort of the undercurrent that has been present this entire reading. Not an external person, although it could be. And it doesn't have to be a fire sign. But Knight of Wands is spirited and energized and focused on accomplishing goals, moving the sticks, like making progress and being fulfilled while doing it. Fulfilled especially like in a spiritual sense, or like a prideful sense as well. That could be the other motivator for some of you in the career move. Maybe, the job that you hold now isn't necessarily making you feel the most prideful, right? You might not, be, over the moon about what you do or who you work for. You might have, ethical issues with the company that you work for. So you want to go work with a company that has, more of a conscious effort to engage with local communities or whatever it is. Aquarius, you have that more global viewpoint anyway, where you care more about community than some other signs might, right? And the company you might work for now doesn't really have that as part of their their mantra, so to speak. And so now with the Knight of Wands as your overall energy, you're being very upfront about that, or you're finally accepting that, you know, I make a decent living here, but the culture of this company is just not my thing. I need to work for a company that just has a, you know, a better moral compass, so to speak. So there is this intention to be involved in situations and jobs with people that fulfill you, that kind of stand for or represent a certain viewpoint that you can agree with, right? So in terms of even in the potential situationship, whatever it is, you know, all the people that you dated before, maybe they were, you know, of a certain political affiliation, or they came from similar backgrounds, and so maybe their viewpoint was limited. Like maybe you grew up in a small town and everybody that you've dated has been from that same small town or similar small towns with similar, you know, again, moral compasses, mentalities, what have you. Maybe you've moved to the big city, you've been living there for a couple of years, you made friends in the city, and you have a crush on your city friend, but, you know, and now you're seeing, oh my God, this person, like, they kind of share my values. That is the word I was looking for this whole fucking time. Values. Thank you. They share your values. And so you're like, ooh, I want to work with them, or I want to be with them, or I want to, you know, hang out with them, or whatever it is. So there's this energy from the Knight of Wands that is seeking to have, to share like-mindedness, and to share the enthusiasm that is already innately in the Knight of Wands. Maybe all your previous jobs or all your previous relationships, you were uninspired, you just went with emotions or whatever it is, and now you feel very compelled and energized, and like you have a lust for life or a vigor that's been put back into you, or that you've never had before. All right, Aquarius, we made it. That's the end of your February reading. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. Let me know how this resonated for you. I would love to hear all that in your comments. You can share the video. You can let other people know you like my stuff. And if you guys haven't subscribed, come on and subscribe, my friends. Let's be pals. Aquarius, I'll be back soon doing the mid-February readings. I got that to do for you guys. I have to do your live. Ooh, look at that. I almost forgot. I was like, I did the birthday. I just didn't do the live. So, Aquarius, I think, oh boy. Oh, is it going to be this weekend? I guess it should be this weekend because your season's almost over. It'll be over on the 18th. So I think it'll probably be this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. I'll go live specifically for Aquariuses on the channel, answering your questions. Any Aquarius that shows up in the chat and you have a question for me, I will answer it to the best of my abilities with the decks I have at my disposal. So be on the lookout for that being announced on the community tab. That's where I announce the specific date and time that I'm actually going to read for you guys live. So you have that to look forward to. Again, the mids are coming out as well. And you will also see no communication readings come out in February as well, okay? All right, Aquarius, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Take care.